Mm-hmm. What's that squirrel doing?
Get out of here, Square. What? 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 What, Square? Will you tell me? Hey, Square, will you tell me? Square, Square.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hello and welcome to Alone Together Pittsburgh. I am your host, Patrick Jordan. We are here coming at you live. The guys in the booth want me to remind you to give a couple bucks to the show if you can. So our Venmo is there right there at Together PGH.
I pushed the wrong button.
Hey, man. This is our 101st episode, folks. Last night we had a great centennial send-off show with the likes of Joe Grishecki, Sally Wiggin, and Kate Romaine. It was her birthday too. It was a pretty fun show. If you didn't watch it last night live, I recommend you go back and watch it. After you watch tonight. Check it out. It is great. But anyway, like I said, we're streaming at you live. We started right when the shelter-in-place order came down, and we've not stopped ever since. Watching the ebb and flow of all of this. We're still here, and hopefully we keep it going there right now. Apparently, my name's Punky Brewster for whatever reason tonight. But you get the feeling. You get the idea. Thank you for being here. Thank you for welcoming us into your homes and mobile devices. We hope you have a good time. Like I said before, our Venmo is there before. If you can kick in a couple bucks, we would greatly appreciate it. The money goes directly to the artists involved in the show on a nightly basis. Other than that, there's some other big news coming up here. But before I get to that, we started the show because of the pandemic, right? Because the coronavirus is kind of taking over everybody's life as this thing goes on. Allegheny County, the COVID numbers are trending in the wrong direction now. I thought it was just, we were living at 80 in the 80s for a while, give or take a couple. Yesterday was 139 cases. Today is 149 new cases in Allegheny County. We're definitely trending in the wrong direction. We're not in like the pull the lever and sound the alarms yet. But I'd like to just remind you guys that now would be a good time to let your friends know to wear a mask. You should wear a mask as well. Don't be a jag. Put on a mask. Keep the social distancing. You still have to wash your hands. Keep that going, man. Keep the
So
mask
we can
on.
stop doing the show, right, Patrick? That's
It would
the
be
thing.
it would be a wonderful thing. Like that would be the gift that we could give to you. We would stop doing this show if
Give us a
everybody just wore
break.
mask. Give us a break. We've been at this. We have not missed a week. We have done 3 to 4 episodes a week nonstop. Some of them have been like chef's kiss, and some of them have been like chef's piss. But anyway, tonight's not going to be like that. We've got a fantastic show for you coming at you. Tony Norman is going to be here. Natalie Besservenga has got a fantastic 5 minutes with, and I am super excited that Jacquea May is going to be with us tonight. She was on our first episode, and she moved me to the point where I'm still moved about how it broke down. We'll talk about it when she gets here, but she is hopefully going to be with us tonight. She was here to check in. I know we've tried a couple of times to have her here. We could see her, but we couldn't hear us. But tonight is the night. But before we start bringing out guests, we've got a little piece of housekeeping here that we've got going on right now. We are in the throes. We were almost at the finish line of the Engine House 25 Winery jag-off poll. Now, it's a jag-off, like face-off, jag-off. It's not a jag-off like a derogatory thing. If anything, we mean it as a term of endearment. Everything on these polls are Pittsburgh-centric things that we all love. Okay, so the bracket started right when the March Madness was canceled, and we decided to give us our own bracket thing. We didn't think we would still going on, but it's happening, okay? And there was a big one last night. They're all big from now on. Everyone involved has won at least 4 slots. So, Dave, do you want to tell him what happened last night before I talk about Engine House 25?
Titans of Pittsburgh. The man who donned the mask that made the darkness come, Michael Keaton. Or should I say Michael Douglas? Which is it, Michael Douglas, Keaton Douglas? What the heck? You're changing your name? How can we trust you? You wear a mask, you run around town, hanging out in the Cathedral of Learning, Michael Keaton. You went against Timmy the bartender from Gooskies. If you don't know him, then you don't deserve to know him. He is a titan. He is a man that will end your life or serve you a cold-cut hoagie with vinegar. No oil, because oil makes it less vinegary, and that stinks. Timmy from Gooskies versus Michael Keaton. And who won? Are you ready for this, Patrick?
I don't want to be. I don't want to be.
I don't want to be either. I don't want to be doing this show anymore. Wear a damn mask so we can stop doing this goddamn show. All right, final results. Here we are. I hope you're happy, Pittsburgh, because here it is. Michael Keaton, 80%, defeated Timmy from Gooskies. You know why? Because he's too cool, Michael Keaton. He's too cool for you. He wouldn't want this. He wouldn't want you talking about him. He doesn't want your votes. He just wants you to get out of his bar.
Well, you heard it here, folks. I am sorry, but I will pay some homage to Timmy from Gooskies. Timmy defeated Jack Lambert in round 1, and then Kenny Chesney's parking lot in round 2. Whereas Michael Keaton has had nothing but mountains in every round. He had Jeff Goldblum in round 1 and Flashdance in round 2. So we love you, Timmy. The best bartender in the city of Pittsburgh. I like will stake everything on that. But we're down to the elite 8 here. So there's only like 4 or 5 more of these things in the poll as it goes. But I do Timmy and Michael Keaton is moving on. He's on a collision course with the parking chair. So it'll be Michael Keaton versus the Pittsburgh parking chair in the Elite 8. So you will definitely want to be around when we get to that one, folks. But I wanted to tell you before we do that, Engine House 25 Winery sponsors the Jagoff poll, the overnight poll and the in-show poll. If you go to eh25.com, you can find out all you need. There is some of the best wine that you're going to have anywhere. I guarantee that. They have some killer reds. The reds are my favorites. They also have a Sauvignon Blanc that's outstanding. They've got Chardonnay, Rosé. I'm really into the Zin. Go check them out. They are doing. If you tell them that you found out about them on Alone Together, you'll receive $5 off per bottle of wine. So if you get a case of wine, you're saving $50 or $60. So $5 off. Let them know you came. They're also doing some free delivery in the 412 if you're interested in that. And they also do contactless curbside pickup. You just let them know. Go to eh25.com. They're right there in Doughboy Square. All right. So that was the overnight poll. We'll announce our weekend overnight poll at the end of the show. But right now we have something that only you, the viewing audience, get to vote on. Dave, tell them what the in-show poll is. The live audience can only do this, by the way. Our podcast listeners that only listen to audio after the fact, can't do it. People watching it tomorrow on YouTube can't do it. You got to vote now. Dave, tell them what it is.
Happening right now in your Facebook consoles, Facebook people. You're going to love this one. It is the Jagoff in-show poll Beehive in Oakland versus the Beehive in the South Side. That is just sadomasochism. It's October. We cannot take this anymore. Beehive Oakland versus the Beehive in the South Side. It has to end somewhere. Do what you have to do, Pittsburgh.
Hey, I tell you what. Well, one thing I can say is, here's to the next 100 shows. Am I right? But some little fun fact before we bring out our first guest, I want to let you guys know to save the date. 1 week from tonight, something big is happening here. Use the hashtag Ghouls for Good. Friday, October 23rd, right? It is a tribute to the Night of the Living Dead. It is a live read, or might I say an undead read, right? It's going to be scenes from the original movies and stars from the movies, right? There's going to be more announcements coming soon, but I want you to know that before I let you know, I'm going to let you know a couple of people who are going to be involved in this thing. But before I do that, you could be involved in this. Send us you doing zombie stuff, right? It could be you just walking down the street, walking in the cemetery. You could use some Legos. You could draw, do a little stop motion thing. We're going to put you, the viewing audience, making your own homemade zombie stuff. We're going to work it into the live read with the stars from the film. And let me let you know a couple of people, okay, that are going to be involved in this, all right? So we've got actor, stunt woman, producer, Patricia Tallman. She was in the 90s version of The Night of the Living Dead, the Tom Savini version. We've got Russ Steiner, okay? Actor and chairman of the board of the Pittsburgh Film Office Board of Directors, who played Johnny in the original version. And we've got Laurie Cardill herself, okay? Star of Day of the Dead. And she's going to contribute to the reading. She's going to talk, and she's obviously going to tell some stories about her legendary father, Chili Billy. It's all going to be there, okay? And don't forget about Randy Kovitz is going to be involved. It's going to be great. And Margie Whitmer, producer Mr. Rogers. This is Pittsburgh-centric, okay? We're going to announce some big names about midway through the show. We still have to confirm. Dave's on the phone with them right now, talking to people's agents and stuff. But I would stick around. Big names are going to be announced. And we are doing all this to raise money for PA Democrats and the Biden-Harris campaign. So please tell your friends a week from tonight. Get into the Halloween spirit, man, because it is going to be on fire. It's going to be, it's going to be totally undead. So get on that. Hashtag Ghouls for Good, or go to ghouls4good.com. You can find out any of that information on our website as well. Well, without further ado, I think it's time we bring out, we've kept them waiting long enough. Here he is. This is the second time he's been on the show. You might remember the first time there might have been some not technical difficulties, but life difficulties. Let's see. He's in his house in his suite with a sweet background. Let's bring him out, Tony Norman.
This is so wild. Your show is just insane, Patrick. I mean
101 episodes, Tony.
Production values, sweet, but surreal, surreal, a little on the surreal side. But man, I am really digging it. I really feel the vibe and the bizarro love. It's just great.
We're alone together, Tony. We're alone. We're in this together, but we are all by ourselves.
Yes, yes. It's all very existential, very Camus-ish, you know.
Speaking of
feel the absurdity. I love it.
Speaking of existential, the last time you were on the show, you were on vacation, and literally the second, if you guys weren't watching, the second the show started, the fire alarm goes off in his building, in the building that he's staying in. So like we don't know what to do. We hear the alarms, and Tony's like, we should just keep moving. So it's Tony on his cell phone walking down the fire steps with other people like running past him. He's like, I'm sure it's not a real fire. I'm sure it's not a real fire. And then he goes outside in the parking lot and proceeds to do the greatest interview that he probably doesn't remember because it was all adrenaline and fire trucks. And then I think your picture went out. So It was just your sound, and we pulled up your headshot. So it was like, early, Iraqi freedom, CNN coverage. And we could just hear like sirens and just like your picture, like, yeah, everything's good, man. So let me tell you about what's going down at the Post-Gazette this month. But anyway, so sorry. This is one of the highlights of the 100th episodes was a fire alarm pulling off.
This is the non-apocalyptic version of an interview with me. Yeah. That was my Virginia Beach escape, and it wasn't much of an escape. Planes overhead, fire alarms. It was a shit show. But thanks for your patience, and thanks for having me back. And I'm glad it's tonight, not last night, because all of our power went out. So that would have been another drama.
Oh, man. So I would have actually. We should have done last night, because then you could have gone outside with your cell phone again, with no picture.
And they'll say, "Hey, he already did this bit."
Yeah, I know. Like this is what Tony does. Does he just not want to be on camera? He's got that fantastic beard now,
This thing.
Nice.
Yeah. I've cut it several times now too. I don't know how to wear a beard yet. So
you look like you're wearing it pretty well right now.
Oh well, thank you. Little practice here. I was clean shaven a month ago, and it came back, and so I guess I'm going to try to wear it with some respectability now. So
are you using clippers, trimmers? Or are you using scissors?
Yeah, well, for this, just little clippers, because when I use the trimmers, I take too much off, and it's like off balance. I haven't learned how to use the clippers correctly yet,
it's
like
an art.
the right clip. So I've just been using little scissors.
That's cool. Well, you're doing a good job with that. Gina Mungo wants to know that she would take a nap on your couch really hard. She would totally nap on that cozy couch.
It smells like my two dogs here, who, if you hear some snoring in the background, it's not me. I don't have emphysema or anything. It's my two dogs. So they're out of sight right now.
That's okay. Well, hopefully we'll see them while we're going. Fat Mandy chimed in. Mandy says that your beard is the best thing that happened in 2020. And she might be right.
Fat Man D is the greatest, so I take that as a high compliment.
Anyway, just to talk about some real, your columns have been on fire lately. They've been coming at me in the best possible way.
Thank you.
So I feel like you're in my head, and on a couple of them, like you're making me think. So thank you for keeping on plugging away at those things.
Right.
Before we talk about.
I'm sorry. I just feel that the column is probably. I mean, because of the times we live in, I don't feel that I can just sort of shilly-shally, the way and say on one hand, on the other hand, and all that. My column appears in a newspaper that is intentionally backing a force for chaos in this country. I believe that our editorial page is aiding and abetting a constitutional criminal. And my particular placement on that page, in order not to be complicit, in order not to be a part of what I consider the destruction of our democracy, I have to be unequivocal in my denunciation and in my contempt for the Trump administration and everything that it stands for. And I feel that having a calm, measured voice instead of one that is full of righteous indignation at every point of the way up into election day is journalistic malpractice and basically moral abdication. And I'm not trying to, not every journalist is called to do this. I mean, columnists are in a unique position. People expect us to weigh in on the issues, and that's what we do. Not all of my colleagues can do that. They're not free to do that, and it would not be proper for them to. But I have a particular platform in which I can express my opinions. And to their credit, the publisher has not attempted to stop me from doing this. Though I know they don't like it,
Right.
but to yank me at this point is just too problematic for them. So maybe they'll get rid of me after the election. But certainly right now, it would just be too problematic and not worth the hassle for them. So I'm going to take advantage of that and ride this baby as long as I can.
All right. And how's everything going with that baby? I know there's talks of some protests or.
Yeah, the protests will continue. They will become ratcheted up in the coming weeks, or however much time we have before there is a strike. And if you ask me the likelihood of a strike, I would say that is north of 90%. Can I say definitively? Obviously, I can't. As you know, we voted overwhelmingly for a strike. A few months ago, and right now, the various national, the CWA and all of our sort of like brethren in the labor movement that are above us, are helping us reinforce our ability to strike and to walk out with a minimum damage to our workers. And so once we have everything in place, that's going to be it. I mean, a lot of folks are saying, hey, why don't these people like show some dignity and just sort of walk out? Well, we have plenty of dignity, and we're going to do that as soon as it is to our advantage. We're not doing it to entertain people.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Very nice. Well, I'm thankful that you're still there, and that your voice isn't getting muted in any stretch of the imagination. And everyone out there, just go to the PG and just read all of Tony's columns.
Thank you.
You also had an essay about the Tree of Life massacre.
Yeah. That comes out. Actually, it's probably already out now. It's in a book called "Bound in the Bond of Life." Pittsburgh writers reflect on the Tree of Life tragedy, and I was approached to contribute to this what I consider a very wonderful book last year, to basically write on my reflections on that terrible day. We're coming up to the second anniversary.
How can that be second anniversary already?
Yeah, it's everything about now. Everything's telescoped. All time is compressed and telescoped and so forth. Yeah, it seems so much more fresher than that. But I was approached to contribute an essay, and so my essay is about how that tragedy, though shocking and unprecedented in many ways, was actually part of a pattern that we've seen in Pittsburgh for decades now. We've been the scene of many mass killings, and we've been the scene of lots of ethnic-based tragedy. And so I sort of connect all of those previous tragedies to the Tree of Life and show that as shocking as it was, it shouldn't have been as surprising as it was, because it is part of a hometown tradition, as it were. We've always had bigots, and we've always had people who have settled their who have dealt with their demons by pulling out their guns. And so I write about that, and I also write about the intolerance that we all see, regardless of our backgrounds, especially someone like me, a Black columnist for a newspaper. Just the abuse in the comment sections of my column shows this is a very hateful. There was a time. I mean, for months, I just had my column locked because there was so many racist cockroaches all over it, and then the publisher sent down a mandate like, you open up your column, and I did, and for a long time it was just overrun with these trolls, and it sort of made my point for me.
The comment section drives me crazy, and I mean it does with everyone as well. But I mean, are publishers, so like naive that they think that as long as there's lots of comments, that means people that we're getting clicks, and it's not like the old model, so it just must be clicks.
You got it, Patrick. That is clearly all that they value. They don't value the sort of the psyche of the writer. They figure that we're paying you enough to make a living. Why don't you just take it, suck it up? We want the clicks so that we can sell advertising, and it has nothing to do with democratizing speech or ideas. It's all a shit show, just to show that they're alive, that they're a part of the discourse.
Shut up and dribble.
Yeah, it's crazy, but they are making. I must say they are starting to make some inroads into creating a more civil comment section, but I think it's outlived its usefulness. I think if you want a letter in the newspaper itself, the paper, you have to be vetted. You have to have your real name. You have to be at a phone number that we can call you to authenticate that you exist, and all of that. I say, if you're going to have comments, take away anonymity. Make sure that people have to take responsibility for their comments, because then that will by itself, you won't even need moderators. That by itself, making people responsible for their comments, will make sure that they moderate their comment, because no one wants to be considered an asshole under their own name. But if they use Mr. Magoo or some stupid shit like that, they can say any racist shit they want and feel they can get away with it. And that's ridiculous.
Absolutely. So one other thing, I know we have somebody else waiting that wants to talk to you a little bit along with us here. But one other thing that we had talked about before, I just want to get your take on, Ice Cube going the way of going the Kanye route, or thinking he's going to be the one to change this. Now, I don't know him. I'm a fan of the music, obviously, grew up on it. But just check if you had a take on that.
Yeah, isn't it disappointing that pretty much, but you got to remember that before Trump was actually elected president, his name was synonymous with luxury, and a lot of rap songs. Dozens of them. I'm not going to say hundreds because that would be exaggerating, but in dozens of songs, by major rappers, he was often name dropped, and his name became synonymous with luxury. For decades. That's because rappers are not the most critical human beings in the world. They don't actually do a lot of research. I mean, they sort of rely upon like street mythology to inform a lot of their opinions. They don't do a lot of reading, you know. And when they do a lot of reading, it's not critically. It's just like whoever hands them a book and they'll, oh yeah, this looks like it's the truth. It tells the truth about the black man and da da da. And it might be some anti-Semitic diatribe, you know, because they just really don't. A lot of them just don't have the apparatus for figuring out what's the truth and what's a lie, and they're just purely emotion. Ice Cube is one of those guys who will freely admit he didn't read a whole lot. You know, he became ultra successful on the basis of the fact that he can write some kick-ass verses and some kick-ass songs. I mean, I can tell you, you know,
the best.
Yeah, he's among the best, but that's a particular skill set that doesn't lend itself necessarily to political leadership.
Right on.
And he was able to parlay that into a successful acting career and a successful producing career. And he has these franchises, you know, the Barbershop franchise, and the dude is a magnificent player in Hollywood and, you know, music.
He's big time, yeah.
Yeah, he's not so much a factor anymore in music, but he certainly is like Hollywood royalty. I think it's fair to say that. And I guess lately he's been feeling bored or irrelevant, and he's started to sort of drift into the political spheres, probably because, you know, he figures that, hey, you know, I got this status, you know, and it's all about celebrity. Maybe I can parlay that into some sort of, you know, leadership model within the black community, blah, 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 blah. And he just got sort of seduced by, you know, some black conservatives who said, hey, read this, read that, and so forth. And he thinks it's deep because, you know, he doesn't have a frame of reference beyond maybe some Nation of Islam stuff, which is very, very conservative politically, and, you know, and he just sort of like got caught up in it. And Trump just went, you know, come on over here, my friend. I got a deal for you. See what I did for your boy Kanye? Come on over here. Let me show you the platinum card for Black America. And why don't you sign on to that, brother? Oh yeah, platinum card. How much money you gonna put on? I'm gonna give all you folks $50 billion reparations, man. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, I can bring that home. I can bring that home to Compton. Yeah. It's so fucking silly. You just like go, what is the matter with these people? And because they don't know any better. Right. And I hate to sound condescending, but I have yet to see a rapper, you know, unless it's just Siri X or someone who is like,
because Jasiri's pretty smart. Yeah, you know.
Jasiri X would never fall for something like this. No. But you know, these Hollywood rappers, they're all dumb. I'm sorry, they are. And you know, unfortunately, no one's following them. And thank God for that. I mean, you know, no Vaseline. I mean, come on, man.
I'm sorry, it's fantastic. I'm sorry, Ice Cube.
It's a great song.
It's fantastic. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm a fan. I was shocked. I kind of was like, really? But like I was like, so it took me aback. But you put a little more eloquently. You're dropping some bombs here tonight, Tony Norman. Before we do it, we have somebody that wants to chat with you a little bit. An old friend of yours. She's here with us tonight, Natalie Besavenga. She's got her segment coming up soon.
All right,
let's
Tony
right there. You know, she's Natalie.
Tony. I'm so happy to see you.
You too. You know, I miss you so much. And
I miss you so much. Like, you know, so much.
Yeah. Well, you know, one day when this pandemic is over, we're all going to be together again, you know, breaking bread in your beautiful home, you know.
You're always welcome.
Yeah.
Come on over. We'll cook some more together. We were doing cooking lessons for a while, Patrick, at my house. So we were having some fun. She
is the greatest. You know, I've gone vegan. And she's teaching me how to eat off the land.
We had some good meals together before the pandemic sort of threw everybody off their game, and then, you know, I left PG, and you guys have been in your own world. But I just have to tell you before I ask, because I have a question for you, but before I ask you my question, I just want to say how much I admire you and the incredible work that you and everybody at the Post-Gazette's doing, trying to speak truth to power, because it's so incredibly important in these moments that we don't let any of this bullshit slide, and we call those people out and we call these actions out, because history is going to judge us. And I know you're wanting to stand on the right side of that. And, for all of you, I just applaud you and your bravery. But I wanted to ask you a question because, I was actually thinking of Jasiri when you were talking, and I love One Hood's new project that they've been doing this week in white supremacy, which is their podcast. And every week they touch on a topic that's happening, where they can really expose the underbelly of white supremacy and how it works in tandem with the patriarchy and with capitalism. But there's been so many stories that have come out this year. And I feel like so many of them would have dominated in any other year, would have dominated headlines for months, right?
No doubt.
So my question for you is, out of all the stories this year so far that you can even think about, because there's been so many, which one for you has been overlooked that you feel like should have been given a lot more airtime?
Oh, I think for me, I think the New York Times expose of Trump's tax delinquency, his indebtedness is. I think that really should have been the dominant story from when it dropped up until now. But there's been so much silliness. I mean, the president getting COVID and all these
everybody around him getting COVID,
and everyone around him being a super spreader. I mean, I can certainly understand how it got displaced, but it seemed to have such monumental implications, and it got like maybe a 1 or 2 week run, and it's not like it's disappeared completely,
right?
But and I think it showed up as Savannah Guthrie's incredible grilling of him last night. But I am actually kind of surprised that it hasn't been a much more dominant story. Not that I think that I firmly believe that he's going to lose, and it will be a shit show for months as he contests and litigates it every way that he possibly can. But I would have thought it would have been much more of a factor than the fact that people are just sick and fucking tired of this guy, and they will throw him out under every pretext imaginable. I just thought that this was going to be the tip of the spear, and that's only because I'm coming out at it from the context of sort of like traditional journalism was like, well, what is the biggest scandal,
right?
And that is, but this guy is scandal proof.
That's
he's scandal proof. I mean, if you could say, well, you can't denounce white supremacy until someone puts a gun to your head, and you can't denounce QAnon under any circumstances. That's all important. But I thought for sure people understand taxes, and they understand that here's a guy who's paying less than they are, in income tax, and I thought that would sink him. But he's holding on to that cult of
and
him.
he went wild at the debate, and then he changed everything around. Then he got COVID, or he probably had COVID before the debate.
Oh God!
All this stuff. You ever watch what's that This Week with John Oliver?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So they had this. I don't know if they still do it. I haven't been watching it this season, but like they had this thing for like 2 years. Every week there was another Trump scandal. At the end, he hit a buzzer, go, "We got him! We got him! This is it!" And like balloons would fall and giraffes would come across. And say, "We finally got him!" And then it was like, we're over that already. We're over that already. We're over that already. So I mean, that's basically it in a nutshell.
See, and that's true. I mean, but it's funny. We're living in an era where all of these memes and all of these jokes and our gallows humor, our dark and black humor, pales in comparison to the reality, and so we're living in an upside down universe, morally speaking.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we are speaking to, we all recognize the evil of this guy, but we seem to be in a universe where karma has a broken leg and just sort of takes its damn time to get somewhere. And when he does get hit with something like COVID-19, you think, oh, he could die. Are we gonna like celebrate this or what? And before we could even like finish doing the moral, stretching and hemming and hawing that we gotta do, he emerges and he wants to open up his shirt and reveal a Superman S. He gets talked out of that, but he does everything else that's connected with that. And we're like, shit, what is it gonna take?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. There's just all these like season cliffhangers happening every day. Just ends with something else on the balcony. But anyway,
it's true.
Yeah, absolutely. What a time to be alive, though, isn't it? I mean, it's like, it's like what you guys were saying before the show. Having the existential crisis. Yeah, we're all having the existential crisis, but this is like the funniest sitcom ever, because it's like a sitcom written by John Paul Sartre, and with the Marx Brothers coming in. You're like going like, oh man, this is like in Salvador Dali, doing all the background, images, and you're like going, you know what, there's gonna be a moral here, and it's all gonna be a classic one day.
I hope so.
Well, I hope so, Tony. We're gonna have to leave you with that one, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on. We got to get to Natalie's 5 minutes with. You can stick around and talk after it if you want. Yeah. So, Tony Norman, thank you so much. Keep checking out Tony's columns at the Post Gazette, everybody. I'm not lying when they're probably the best thing going right now. It's a voice we need. So, thank you for being here with us, and thank anyone in your building or your house for not pulling the fire alarm. and we appreciate it. So thanks, Tony.
I'm gonna hang around, just listen.
Oh yeah, please do. Yeah, stay in the green room here. Hey Nat.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about who you're talking to tonight on 5 Minutes With.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So I was really inspired by everything that's been going on with the SCOTUS nomination and the perspective from Catholics and just how do they feel about this. And I consider myself a recovering Catholic. So I thought, wouldn't this be interesting if I could chat with someone that's a practicing Catholic? And I thought, I know somebody, and her name is Sister Sue Fazzini, and she's a Benedictine sister, which is a specific sect of Catholicism. And she's brilliant and interesting. And we've been following each other on social media for many years. And she really is steeped, I think, in the work of, I believe, what Christianity actually should represent. And it was just fascinating to hear her perspective on so many things, including what's going on with the Supreme Court nomination.
Okay, well, let's you and me talk about it on the other side. And without further ado, here's 5 Minutes with Natalie Bensavenga.
Hey everyone, I'm Natalie Bensavenga, host of 5 Minutes With, and I'm honored this week to have a very special guest, Sister Sue Fazzini. Thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
Now, for people that may not know, you are a Benedictine sister. Can you explain a little bit what that means?
Yes, I am a Benedictine sister from Pittsburgh, and we follow the rule of St. Benedict. We live in a community. There are approximately 40 of us right now. However, the order is worldwide. And with the rule of Benedict, it's our motto is work and prayer. So our work is our prayer, and our prayer is our work. And it really fits well with living a lifestyle of service to others.
And speaking of that lifestyle, when we're talking about, walking the walk, you being a follower of Jesus, you hear a lot of things, I think, in the media that have sort of taken the messages of religion and Christianity and used them more self-serving ways. So can you explain, when you mean walk the walk, what does that actually entail for you?
Well, I think anybody that's involved in religion, we can always take the scriptures, which are the heart of our life, and live them to their fullest. Mm-hmm. However, they can also be twisted and turned in ways that perhaps people use it as an excuse not to care for the poor. However, when I read the gospel, since a child, I have always been intrigued and challenged and encouraged by the fact that Jesus lived for others. He did not live for himself. He totally lived for others in a very unselfish way. And I truly believe that's our challenge. Look at who he worked with, the lepers, the women of the street, the poor. He was always surrounded by sort of the cast-offs that nobody else wanted. And that's where I feel I am called to be. And I truly believe that that's what the heart of the gospel message is, that we are not to live for ourselves. We are to reach out and live for others and help others as much as we can.
No, and I love that. And, you know, in the world that we've been living in, especially in the last few years and now leading up to this very insane year of 2020, on top of everything else, we have a Supreme Court justice hearing for Amy Coney Barrett, who is Catholic and has spoken out very strongly against, you know, abortion, against LGBTQ rights, against healthcare for all. From your perspective, speaking just for yourself, how does it feel to you to hear all of that? And what message would you instead like for politicians and people in positions of power that are making decisions that are truly impacting people's lives? What message would you like to send to them?
Well, first of all, I still don't understand why Obama's Supreme Court justice wasn't vetted, at least to give the courtesy. And now that we have so few days till election time, we're ramrodding this through. However, that being aside, I will never understand why we don't want health care for all. That seems to be a basic human right. I don't understand the hatred toward the LGBTQ community. Again, human beings, it's our hearts that matter. You know, aren't we more concerned with what's from the waist up than the waist down? I really don't understand the over concern with that. You know, it just seems that we are missing the boat. We're missing the boat of justice for all, of love for all, of where is your heart? Why can't we be compassionate toward all people? That seems to be the message that's missing in the political arena specifically, but in many places.
No, and I totally agree with you. And, you know, I've been following you on social media for a long time, and you really inspire me with a lot of your messaging. But I learned a lot of really interesting things about you today when we were talking a little bit before this interview, that over the course of your experience as a sister, you've fostered with other sisters over 150 children, that you work as an addiction specialist, in particular with men in a maximum security prison. And to me, that is so fascinating, the life that you've had. And can you share some of your experiences in particular about what it means to work with those who are incarcerated? Because I feel like a lot of times, not only do we neglect them in our communities, we don't like to talk about it, we don't like to think about it, but from your experience, can you debunk some myths around what it's like to work with people who are incarcerated?
Oh, sure. I'll tell you, I never expected to do either of those things, foster children or work in a maximum security prison. And they were things that were simply placed, God placed them in my life. And I took up the challenge and ran with it. And as far as working with inside the prison, I've had some of the most incredible conversations with people who are incarcerated. The level of thinking, the level of feeling. Yes, they have done some things, some of them minimal things, some of them heinous things, and yet they're trying to work to make peace with some of the things that they have done, and to ask forgiveness, to go as far as to ask forgiveness to the people they have harmed. Yes, we want to write off the population that's incarcerated, and to do that, we're throwing away the talents of the men or the women that are incarcerated. And I've seen when people get out and the good that they do, the amazing things that they do. And so who are we to say, hey, okay, you made that mistake, you're done. Again, that's not taking away. Some of these guys have done some heinous things, and not everybody is in that spot. There are some bad people that should never be released. However, there's a lot of people that have made a mistake, and when you go back and review their life and talk with them one-on-one, I think there, but for the grace of God, go I.
Thank you so much, sister, for spending five minutes with me and sharing your thoughts on the world. Are there any other final thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap up?
Yeah, I do. Part of Benedictinism is that we welcome the strangers as Christ, that anyone that comes into your life or comes to your home has the potential to be Christ on earth. And if we all live that way with kindness in our hearts, and when we see another person, we truly see Christ, or whatever spiritual, I'm Christian, obviously, I'm Catholic, obviously, but whatever religion or denomination, or even atheism, if we just treated the other person as a human being rather than as a suspect or an enemy, I think we would all be well off.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Many blessings to you.
Thank you so much. It's been a gift.
Same here. Thank you.
Natalie, I love Sister Sue.
Isn't she amazing?
I'm saying she is beyond amazing. She just in that little 5-minute interview, she represented and spoke to what I think the best of religion can be, or Catholicism. You know what I mean? And none of the sisters were as cool as she was when I was in school. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm like, you know what? I might have been an altar boy a little bit longer if Sister Sue was around. But yeah, amazing. And what she spoke to was basically my biggest question mark when people claim religion and kind of spew hatred or push for hatred. So yeah, I mean that's the best of it, the golden rule right there. Yeah, Sister Sue's fantastic. Sister Sue, come back and talk to us anytime.
I know, she was so thrilled and honored to be a part of this platform. And it had been weighing on my mind, the idea that we're hearing a lot about Catholicism right now because of what's going on with the Supreme Court. And I just think it's important to ground everybody and remember that regardless of your faith or your background, or like she said, even if you don't believe in anything, we can believe in each other and we can see the best in each other and want that for one another. And I think we need to find a way back there. So I always appreciate the opportunity to be able to share these stories with people that aren't always centered in conversation. So you guys are awesome for letting me do that.
Oh, that's great. I mean, even in the work Sister Sue's doing in the, with the prison system, amazing. But anyway, yeah. Well, Natalie, thank you very much for another fantastic 5 minutes with. We're going to see Natalie next week on Wednesday.
Yes.
Because we have to shift some things around because Ghouls for Good is happening on Friday with the Night of the Living Dead Undead read with original cast members and such. So so thank you. Thanks for that. And we'll see you Wednesday, Natalie.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Everybody, that was another installment of 5 Minutes with Natalie Betsavenga. Also remember that Natalie is a nationally syndicated advice columnist, and you go to asknatalieadvice@gmail.com. Ask her anything you've got. So moving along here, I want to get to our next guest, who was our first guest, who was one of the first guests that we had on Alone Together Pittsburgh, episode 1. And here she is starting us off with episode 101. Okay, we're starting off the clock with style. Here she is, Jacquea May.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, Jacquea, there you are. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to have you back here. I mean, we were talking about this last night with like moments from the first 100 episodes that we kind of like speak to or stick out to us. And it was when you were on the show, episode 1, I think you were outside of the Target at the waterfront the day the shutdown came, and it was like a ghost town. It was dusk, and we did a great interview with you, just kind of standing outside, and then we asked if you'd sing a song, and you just basically put your bike up against the wall and belted out one of the most beautiful songs, and all a cappella, like in the vestibule at Target. And I could only imagine the 5 or 6 people who were in the parking lot, just seeing that happen, thinking that it was the end of days, that the end of times was happening. So anyway,
man, listen, it was the spur of the moment type of thing. So
I know.
I'm
So
glad that it worked out. It was fun.
Well, we've been trying to have you back ever since. and I'm so glad you're here with us tonight.
Yeah.
So but so we're having some technical difficulties, which of course we are. But I was wondering if
Of course.
I know you're out. I was wondering if you had any desire to maybe sing us another song.
Sure.
I'm only
Okay.
asking you to do it now, just in case we lose your signal. I was going to talk to you, but we could
Right.
talk a little bit. I just don't want to lose you.
Okay. All right. So I think this is a good place. All right. I'm trying to think of the song I sung. I think it was a song for you by Donny Hathaway. All right, I'll sing that one.
Okay.
All right. Hope y'all can see me. I think y'all can. Okay, here we go. I've been so many places in my life and time. I've sung a lot of songs. I made some bad rhymes. Acted out my life in stages with 10,000 people watching. We're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. I know your image of me is what I hope to be. I treated you unkindly, darling, can't you see? There's no one more important to me, baby, can you see through me? We're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. You taught me precious secrets of a true love, holding nothing. Came out in front, I was hiding. But now I'm so much better. And if my words don't come together, listen to the melody, 'cause my love is in there hiding. I love you in a place where there's no space or time. I love you for my life. You are a friend of mine. When my life is over, remember we were together. We're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. I love you in a place where there's no space or time. I love you for my life. You are a friend of mine. When my life is over, remember we were together. We're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. We were alone, and I was singing this song. Sing this song to you.
Oh my God, that was fantastic.
Okay.
Jacquea, you still with us?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh no, we no, not as much as we do.
Point.
That was amazing, and you know what? Once again, you had a couple of spectators crossing the frame. They must have wondered what the hell was going on. This is like your
that way, man.
This is like your thing now. This is your calling card. Just randomly pop up to a song.
Yeah,
But
man. Why not?
yeah. But thank you so much. I mean, real quick, I know you're busy. You got something here. I mean, I haven't seen you in 100 episodes. That's almost like 6-7 months since the last time we got to talk. I mean, when we talked the first time, you weren't able to work with kids as much because we didn't know what was happening with COVID. Has anything changed with your day to day?
Just caring for my elf. She's really, really good. Being able to help her, and learning through her, learning about history. So I've just been trying to learn to heal, take care of myself, do better.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Well, thank you so much. Are you going to be performing anytime soon that we can tell people about? Streaming?
Yes, I'll be performing next day at 8 p.m. With my brother men. We'll be streaming as well on my Facebook page.
Okay. When was that again?
That's it. Celebrate my birthday. It's going to be next Friday, October 23rd, which is my birthday.
All right.
It'll be at March next week. Hey.
All right. Well, we'll post all that stuff in our feed and on our page and help promote it for you. Jacquea, man, thank you so much for being here. Please come back. Like literally, if you feel like singing and it's between 8 and 9 o'clock, just chime in. Or if you just want to talk about anything, chime in and see us. Thank you so much. You were my favorite guest from the first 100, and now you are my favorite guest from the second 100.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jacquea, man.
Thank you.
Best. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, I got to be honest, that was amazing. I love her. I love her voice, and I love everything about her. So I'm just so happy that we got her to come back on the show. And that's great, man. That just kind of brought a whole lot of stuff back. So that was fantastic. We're gonna tell you a little bit more before we wrap up the show tonight. I want to tell you a little bit about. We got to talk about the in-show poll and the overnight poll. But I want to tell you again, we've got some new names that are coming up to tell you about some people that are going to be involved in Ghouls for Good. Pete, Dave, do you want to drop these names, or do you want me to drop these names? I think, Dave, maybe you should drop these names. Or do you want me to drop them? I'm going to drop them.
All right, you ready for this, Patrick?
I'm not ready.
You should be, because these are hot.
How hot?
So hot. But if you have the script, I'll pull the pictures. You got the script?
I don't know. Send me anything.
We don't need the
Oh, no,
script.
hold on. I got it. I just got it.
There we go. We're good.
Here we go. All right, I was just going to say, why don't you do this?
We're
all right,
pros.
this is great.
We're professionals.
Okay. We're professionals here. I'm just sitting here waiting on like somebody in the booth like, oh, shit, yeah, we better send these to Patrick. So check this out. Okay, first of all, this is confirmed. You're sure everything you just sent me is confirmed, right?
Oh, you got it, Patrick.
Okay.
This is coming hot off the press. Just done. Just got off the phone. Randy was talking to me. He was screaming. Boom.
Okay. Music from Zombie. Okay? We've got music from Zombie, the duo with Pittsburgh DNA running through their veins, their undead veins. Zombie. I fucking love Zombie. That is very cool. They're super cool guys. All right, so we've got that. Now, Dave, who else? Who else, you ask? Okay, confirmed. This is confirmed, okay? Are you serious? Tony Todd. Tony Todd is going to be on the reading here. If you don't know who Tony Todd, that's the Candyman. You look in the mirror, you say it 3 times. Tony friggin' Todd is going to be your horror legend star of the 1990 Night of the Living Dead version, directed by Tom Savini. If you don't know, it's big. It's big. Dave, put his picture up. You will see all of these amazing artists perform the source material. You'll meet the artist. You can ask questions. You do not want to miss this event. And help us spread the word, okay? Ghouls for Good. Get out there. Tell your friends. It's Halloween season, man. You're probably not going to go trick-or-treating. You can't knock on doors, right? What you can do, you can dress your kids up. Make them zombies. Pete did it. I mean, we can do this. Get it happening, and it goes for the PA Dems, the Biden-Harris campaign, and just get out there, get some zombie stuff running here. We have got this is as horror things go. This is your Comic-Con. This is your horror con. It's all happening. Go to goalsforgood.com. Get on it. Get happening. So to wrap things up tonight, Dave, I didn't check in. How is our in-show poll? How did it go? Who won?
It's a hot one. It's a hot one, but let us check in and see what's happening here. Here we go. The results are in. Damn, Oakland Beehive. This is unbelievable. Oakland Beehive. I wouldn't have bet on Oakland Beehive with 75% of the dang.
All right.
Bam!
Get it out
Oakland
of
Beehive
there.
75 to 25. Impossible, but it's done.
I didn't see. I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it coming either.
I love both establishments, but the Oakland Beehive has been closed for quite some time. So just in the Southside Beehive, recent lots of time spent in both of those places. So all right, so that one's in the books, but there's an overnight poll. Dave. Oh,
Here
no
it comes.
way.
You ready for this? Boom. Overnight poll, togetherpgh.com. Overnight, what am I talking about? It's the whole weekend. You get the whole weekend for this, togetherpgh.com/vote. Institution of Horror, Pittsburgh Scare House versus Institution of Horror, the Bloomfield Halloween Parade. This is a jag-off you cannot miss. If you miss it, you should be chilled to the bone. Scare House versus Bloomfield Halloween Parade. Everybody loves it. The kids love it. The kids are frightened. Some are scared. Some are happy. There's candy everywhere. Spooky clowns. Pittsburgh Scare House versus Bloomfield Halloween Parade. 2 Pittsburgh horror institutions. It's October. This is fitting. TogetherPGH.com. Vote, damn it.
Well, I tell you what, that's a big one. So you can go to togetherpgh.com/vote, hit that up, check it out, get to voting. I want to thank our guests tonight, Jacquea May, Tony Norman, Natalie Besavenga, and Sister Sue. This was a full meal with dessert, and that dessert ended up having a cherry on top of it. What do you say, Pete?
I voted for the Oakland Beehive. How would you go?
I would have voted. If I voted, I would have voted for the Oakland Beehive, but I did not think to vote.
I saw a lot of great movies there. That was a great spot.
It was good stuff. You know, Fat Mandy, where are you at on this one, Mandy? If you're still watching,
She would have probably, yeah.
She could speak to both of those places. She got married in front of one of them, and she performed in front of the other several million times. But
where do you stand on the overnight?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think on that before I vote, man.
Oh man,
I mean,
seriously?
Yeah, dude.
I have a doubt.
What are you going to take, the parade, or are you taking Scare House?
Yeah, I'm
you
taking
going the parade? Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
All right.
Dude,
well,
I mean, it's just like, drunk Bloomfielders everywhere. There's like little kids running around, almost getting hit by fire trucks.
By everything.
It's chaos. You know?
Right, sold.
Everyone's all sugared up and like the
sold.
Free, Reese's peanut butter cups they toss to your head.
So that's 3 votes for the Bloomfield Halloween parade before we even start the polls. TogetherPGH.com/vote. Tonight was a full show. I mean, Tony Norman. I mean, the man's brilliant, and Jacquea and Natalie, Sister Sue. I'm sorry, man.
That was great.
It was like I was listening to Sister Sue. I'm like, this is what it's supposed to be about. Wish we're more like her. What do you think, Dave?
That's it. That's warming my heart. I love it. Wide open.
Well, we're setting the bar high for the next 100 episodes. I'm thinking Wednesday we just totally shit the bed.
Yeah, totally. We got to scuzz it up a little
Let's
bit.
lower the bar here. Let's bring it back down.
That second promo that we did was a little rough around.
Yeah, we brought it back down.
That was better. That was more in line with our. We want to, keep the quality consistent. You know what I mean? If it's just right there, B minus. That's our hot spot.
We can do a take 2 if we want.
Well, no, my favorite part about that before we wrap things up for the weekend was Debbie be like, "Hey, Dave, Pete, you guys want to tell them who it's going to be? Oh, well, what, Patrick? Why don't you read the script? I don't have the script. Oh, well, let me send it to you." And then I only got half.
It's
so
broken
talking
into
it
three
like
parts, and it's
only got one part. We only read 2 of the 3 parts. But
we had our
there's
own
so much-
horror show here, Patrick.
I know what's happening. You don't have to say anything, but it's rolling out. I know. That's 100 episodes.
You know what to do, Pittsburgh. Night of the
So-
Living Dead live
right.
next Friday, 10/23.
So I'm gonna send you guys off with a little clip here that we played last night for the culprit, for the person who came up with it last night. Let Sally Wiggin tell you guys about mask wearing, and that'll send us to our weekend. What do you say, Dave?
We should have gotten her saying it again. You know what I mean? Or like listening and saying would have been a nice thing. But yeah, man.
Do you want to talk about things we should have done?
I'm really just killing time to get to the dang clip because I'm also on the screen. Holy crap, 100? Are you kidding me? 101?
100 episodes, folks. So anyway, thank you all very much. Before we play this one, go back, take care of each other. It's the weather's getting colder. Be extra sensitive. I know we let our guard down in the summer a little bit. Please, if you're indoors, wear a mask. If you're outdoors, wear a mask. Just wear a mask. Keep your
Listen
distance.
to Sister Sue. God damn it.
Listen to Sister Sue, and I wouldn't say the GD when I talk about her.
What the fuck are you talking about?
When I walk out and there's someone without a mask and they come too close to me, I'm just racked with fear, and then I want to punch them in the face.
She's great. We'll see you guys later.
Cheers.